Today I saw the movie House of Gucci. I thought it was a beautiful movie, very well made, extremely well acted, emotionally intense, gripping. Uh, I should say that I, going into seeing it, had no knowledge of nor much of an interest in the subject matter of the Gucci family or in the subject matter of fashion, high fashion, generally speaking. You can tell if you see the way I dress that I'm not exactly a fashion maven. And, the names like Gucci and Versace and uh, Calvin Klein. I don't know. Uh, all the big names of fashion. I mean, look, I'm heterosexual, so that speaks for itself. But I wanted to see the movie just because I thought that it looked interesting, and I got more than I bargained for. Uh, I found it to be really quite captivating as a character study of um, a marriage that started out uh, beautifully, wonderfully, with great love on the part of both parties, and then it went awry, and it went when it went awry, it went terribly awry, uh, and it ended uh, violently. It ended with a murder. Um, so, it's a very dramatic story, needless to say. And I think that was the thing that I found the most riveting about the movie. Um, Say what you want about Lady Gaga. I understand, and you know, I I I get it, but as far as the weird messages in her music videos and and seeming relation to the occult and uh, apparent one-time friendship, or at least uh, uh, familiarity with um, Marina Abramovich, which is, of course, she's not the only one in showbiz who has that connection. But you know, I don't, uh, I don't, I don't particularly like those things, and I don't ignore those things. But I do think that Lady Gaga is a very talented performer, and this movie shows her to be just an incredible actress. Um, just a virtuoso performance uh, where she transforms essentially. Um, I put it up there with some of the great uh, male performances like De Niro in Raging Bull, um, or who was it in the uh, um, Christian Bale in The Machinist, and there are many other performances like that, mostly male performances. I've got to say, where you see these actors just put so much of themselves into playing this role that it overtakes them. It uh, it pushes them to do things physically to themselves um, that are literally unhealthy. Robert De Niro gained like pounds or thereabouts, maybe more. At first got into great boxing shape, and then playing Jake LaMotta late in life when he just lost all lost his fighting edge and lost his composure and tried to become a stand-up comedian. Just became this pathetic figure, um, and he literally gained, 100 pounds more, or maybe even more than that, just for the part. Again, whatever you think of De Niro, I'm not saying these people are good people. I'm not saying I'm not holding them up as icons, but I am saying that these are great performances. These are courageous performances. This, just balls to the wall, pedal to the metal. Christian Bale in The Machinist, where he's like becomes like, I don't know, like 110 pounds, just totally emaciated, all for the part. And in this movie, we see Lady Gaga, her character transform. Um, she becomes, she goes from a very loving, traditional, feminine, sexy, loving wife to this extremely embittered, uh, uh, hateful, and murderous person. But all the while, we're pulled along with her. There's for all of her vices, all of the vices of her character, we are never allowed to get to feel alienated from her. We never get a distance from her. And so even when she's at a point where she's manipulated her husband into doing all these things that he didn't ever really want to do, and he finally has had enough, and he grows cold to her. There's still something heartbreaking about those scenes where she's still, she still loves him, and she's still trying to reach out to him and rekindle what they had. Uh, and he's just very, uh, he's had enough, and he's just very cold, and says, "No, I don't love you anymore. This is over." Uh, our heart breaks for her. At least mine did. Um, and and she becomes again this. It's not like, I don't know how much of a physical transformation it was, because I know they can do things with fat suits and whatnot. But she goes, you know, from being a voluptuous, sexy, feminine, Italian, mademoiselle, or whatever they call them in Italy. I don't know the name. But she becomes this. Uh, she, she she becomes hardened, uh, and again, those who knew about the story, those who knew what actually happened, because this is all based on a true story. You already know all of this, but for myself, it was all new. I knew nothing about any of these people, any of these characters, and of course, it is a docudrama. And docudramas, I know I've said before that there's something inherently second rate about the docudrama genre or format most of the time. I think this is an exception to that rule. I think Raging Bull would also be an exception. And maybe Scorsese's The Aviator about Howard Hughes would also be an exception to this general rule, but I do think a lot of the time docudramas are just kind of an excuse to be indulgent, and this is an this is an indulgent movie in that we do see a lot of emotion in it, uh, and you know, there's it's an intoxicating movie. We see the beauty of of Italy, of and in some cases this kind of overripe, this kind of these these mansions that are a little tacky, that are a little overdone, but there's still something seductive about the sumptuousness of the luxury, uh, and you know the movie is all about ambition and how ambition destroys love, and it's it's unrelenting in its depiction of uh, this very sad circumstance, and how it unfolds in with these particular characters. So again, Lady Gaga, absolutely fantastic, fantastic in the part. Whatever you think about her, you can't watch this movie and not be moved by her performance, and not just be riveted by her performance. There's a very good um, counterpoint to her character in Adam Driver, who plays the young Gucci, who she initially romances, and who they have a very happy marriage at first. And she's not, the movie doesn't portray her as a gold digger per se, because uh, when they meet and fall in love and get married, uh, this guy, this member of this this very rich uh, family connected to the fashion world. He's alienated his father, and his father has basically written him out of his life, and because he doesn't approve of the match, he doesn't like Lady Gaga's character. He thinks that she's a tramp, uh, and he says, look, it's okay if you want to make her your girlfriend, if you want to, take her to the villa, uh, and have a good time with her and for a weekend, and but don't marry her. And he says, no, I'm going to marry her. I don't care what the consequences are going to be. Um, so when they marry, he's the Gucci character, played by Adam Driver, has absolutely nothing. He has to come and ask to work for uh, his fiance's father's truck company, uh, and he does so, and he does so without shame, because it's what you know at that time in his life, it's what he wants to do. Um, and so they're very much in love, and their love is very real, and very passionate. But at some point along the way, something awakens in her, where she decides, that they deserve better than this, and she works on her husband, Lady Macbeth style, to try to get him back in the business, of back into his family's business, and and he doesn't want to at first. At first, he says, "We're happy now. This is the happiest I've ever been." But he goes along with it. He eventually becomes persuaded and goes along with it, and and then they become this rich and successful power couple. Uh, taking part in these schemes with and against other members of the family, uh, including one character played by Jared Leto, whom I did not know was Jared Leto until it was over. A very showy kind of, again, very virtuoso performance, but where he's hidden. He's under all of this ugly makeup. You don't have any clue that this is this is you know Mr. Handsome, Mr. Jordan Catalano from My So-Called Life. Um, Another incredible performance. But I think everybody's great in it. Jeremy Irons as as the father who disapproves of Lady Gaga, Al Pacino as the flamboyant, charismatic uncle, who's the father of Jared Leto, who's this pitiful kind of talentless hack, but just who happens to have the family name. Anyway, the real tragedy of the story and what really gripped me about it, and what I could relate to about it in some ways, what I think anyone who's ever had or experienced a failed marriage can relate to, is just how uh, the things that love can tear. Love will tear us apart again, but it's not love that tears them apart. It's ambition. It's her ambition. It's her desire to have more, which fires his ambition, which he didn't have prior to that, but she awakens it in him. And it's like she eats of the apple in the garden, and then he then she gives it to him to eat as well. And they're both corrupted, and then their corruption just takes them on a downward spiral, where eventually he loses all love and respect for her, and she tragically still wants to be with him, and then becomes overcome with a feeling of betrayal when he divorces her, and takes up with someone else. And that sends things towards the tragic denouement. But highly recommended movie. Very, very, very well acted. Very well directed. Um, Ridley Scott is the director. I'm not like a Ridley Scott fan per se. I think he's done some good things and some not so good things. But this movie, particularly because of the performance of Lady Gaga, because of the chemistry between Gaga and Adam Driver, because of the strong supporting performances, particularly by Jared Leto. Uh, Very powerful film. So that's my movie review. I really liked it. And thought it had a lot of interesting and relevant things to say about about the things that can make and break a love relationship, a marriage, a bond between a husband and a wife. Thanks for watching. That's my review. Leave your thoughts below. Talk to y'all soon.